From our studio in Georgetown, this is the TV Delmarva Channel 14 News at 4.
Good day, Delmarva. Reporter Rob Petrie here for TV Delmarva Channel 14 News. Straight ahead, the City of Lewes has hired a new lifeguard captain and announced that its beaches will be guarded this season. A Dover man was arrested on drug and weapons charges in connection with last month's shooting outside Irish Mike's bar. And Governor Carney has vetoed legislation that would have legalized marijuana in Delaware. These stories and more coming up, but weather first with Hunter Alton.
Hello and good Wednesday, Delmarva. We're still dealing with plenty of clouds in the vicinity and some few isolated showers here and there. But today in general hasn't really been all that bad. Taking a live look outside of TV Delmarva Studios here in Georgetown. We're starting to see a little bit of sunshine peeking through, something we haven't seen in the last couple of days. But we still got plenty of cloud cover out there, and we still got that pesky onshore breeze from the east. Noticing a little bit of some shaking on the camera this afternoon, and some comfortable temperatures for the most part, even though they are below average for this time of year. It's currently 67 degrees here in Georgetown. Take a look at satellite and radar. There's two features that we are watching at this time. The one is that remnant tropical low that is now just off of the coast of the Carolinas that's just been bringing us some constant cloud cover over the last few days, and as well as responsible for those rain showers in the vicinity. Now we still do have the chance of maybe seeing an isolated shower going into the overnight hours tonight into the day on Thursday, but this storm is making its way out of here and is beginning to weaken. The other one we're watching out for is out in the Central Plains right now. As you can see, there's multiple lines of storms through areas of Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. Now this is going to be moving into the area on Friday, and then it'll be our turn to start seeing some thunderstorm development, and some of which could be on the strong to severe side as well. Let's have a look at those conditions elsewhere on Delmarva this afternoon. Now with a little bit of sunshine added in some locations, they've allowed temperatures to warm up just a little bit. Currently 69 degrees in Georgetown, 67 for Pocomoke City. Much cooler along the Atlantic coast in Ocean City at 61 degrees, but we're in the 70s for areas of Easton and Centerville, 68 for Dover, and even warmer up north in Newcastle and Cecil counties, Wilmington 74 and 73 in Newark. Take a look at dew points. There have been a little bit drier for the most part. Dew points are in the upper 40s to lower 50s pretty much everywhere on the shore, except for right along the immediate coast with that onshore flow. We got dew points in the mid-50s all the way down towards Cape Charles, Virginia. Take a look at some sustained winds. Generally, on average, the closer you are towards the coast, the more wind that you are seeing this afternoon. Sustained winds generally from the east and northeast between 10 and 20 miles per hour, but we have been seeing some wind gusts kind of getting close to 30 at times. But generally, right now, gusting from the east and 20 miles per hour in Georgetown, 23 for Ocean City, 19 for Pocomoke City, as much as 25 for Exmoor, 20 miles per hour in Dover, and currently gusting to 22 in Centerville. Now we're still going to be dealing with some more cloud cover and some more milder temperatures over the next few days, but we do have the chance for that severe weather on Friday, especially in the overnight hours once that cold front arrives. I'll have a full discussion regarding that here in just a little bit.
Well, the City of Lewes has hired a new lifeguard captain and announced that its beaches will be guarded this season. This comes after the town just weeks ago announced that Savannah Beach and Johnny Walker Beach will be unguarded after they struggled to find lifeguards. Now, we got a chance to sit down with Lewes City Manager Anne Marie Townsend, who said the town was able to turn things around.
I think the news media certainly helped us by putting out the problem that we were experiencing, that we were unable to recruit staff. And Captain Kent Buxton, who is the captain of the beach patrol at North Shores and for many years had been the captain of the Rehoboth Beach Patrol, reached out, and he said he wanted to help us put together a beach patrol for the season. So he reached out to a person who guarded for him for about 10 years in Rehoboth, Strom Edwards, who's a full-time swim coach. And Strom was enthusiastic to come on as a captain for our lifeguards, and he and Kent have been working together to try to recruit. Between the two of them, they know a lot of people, and I think maybe that personal contact versus just responding to a job ad might make all the difference. So we're very excited. We still have a lot of work to do. We expect that it's going to be mid-June before we're fully staffed, but we are very optimistic, and we've had a lot, reached out to a number of people, and the publicity around this has actually helped us get some people who contacted us because they're interested in applying. So I do think this is a testament to one of the wonderful things about Delaware is, people do step up, and this is certainly an example of that.
The town hopes to have all of its beaches fully guarded by mid-June. Meanwhile, a Dover man was arrested on drug and weapons charges in connection with last month's shooting outside Irish Mike's bar. 26-year-old Robert Knox was developed as a suspect during the investigation, and an arrest warrant was obtained in connection with the April 16th shooting outside the bar in downtown Dover. On Tuesday, officers arrested Knox after he left an apartment on Plumage Court. At the time of his arrest, police say Knox was found to be in possession of 18.6 grams of marijuana and a large amount of cash. Officers then obtained a search warrant for the apartment that Knox and 29-year-old Shaniqua Smith were in at the time. During the search, officers located over 6,000 grams of marijuana, a 9mm handgun, a .380 caliber handgun, and over $54,000 in suspected drug proceeds. An arrest warrant was also made on May 3rd after a suspect was identified as having a handgun when the shooting occurred. Both were arrested on a slew of felony charges. Well, Governor John Carney on Tuesday vetoed House Bill 371. That's legislation that would have legalized the possession of marijuana in Delaware. The bill would have removed all penalties for possession by a person 21 years of age or older of 1 ounce or less of marijuana. Now, Governor Carney issued the following statement saying, quote, "I do not believe that promoting or expanding the use of recreational marijuana is in the best interests of the state of Delaware, especially our young people. Questions about the long-term health and economic impacts of recreational marijuana use, as well as serious law enforcement concerns, remain unresolved." The bill will now be sent back to the House of Representatives. And speaking of the governor, Governor Carney issuing a limited state of emergency in Kent County due to the barge fire in the Delaware Bay. The governor requesting additional resources to support local emergency management agencies, including Bowers Fire Company and DENREC, through the Emergency Management Assistance Compact to continue combating that fire. Emergency officials continue to fight the fire now 48 hours after the blaze broke out around 1 a.m. Monday. The fire represents one of the largest in recent history to break out on the Delaware Bay. Coming up, Delaware flags are being flown at half-staff in solidarity with the victims of Tuesday's mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. More details straight ahead. Keep it here. As a mark of respect for the victims of the senseless acts of violence perpetrated by a gunman at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, President Biden has ordered flags at government buildings and facilities to be flown at half-staff until sunset on May 28th. In concurrence with the president's order, Governor Carney has ordered both U.S. and state flags at state buildings and facilities be flown at half-staff until the same time of sunset on May 28th. Now, at last check, a total of 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in that shooting. Well, it's looking like we're in store for more showers and milder conditions tonight as we get a preview of your pinpoint weather forecast with Hunter Alton.
More clouds and isolated showers will be in the forecast for the overnight hours tonight, with the remnants of a tropical low-pressure system in the area. We warm up a few degrees for your Thursday with a chance of some more isolated showers in the vicinity, and we start warming things up going into the holiday weekend with the threat of some strong thunderstorms on Friday. Just how strong these storms will be, I'll let you know when we come back here on TV Delmarva, Channel 14 News. right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the pinpoint forecast for the overnight hours into the day on Thursday. We're still going to be dealing with the effects of that pesky tropical low that's still meandering around areas of Delmarva, constantly bringing us some cloud cover and some rounds of precipitation here and there. But going into the overnight hours tonight, we're going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies and still dealing with those isolated showers during the overnight hours. Temperature's not really going to change all that much though, 58 to 63 degrees tonight with some light winds from the east between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Take a look at Futurecast rest of the overnight hours into the day on Thursday. This is 8 o'clock this evening. Widespread areas of temperatures right around 60 degrees, but if you notice these little green patches here on the shore, that is the chance of those isolated showers continuing into the evening hours. And then by the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, as you see, temperatures have not really changed all that much, maybe drop a degree or two in the upper 50s, and we still got more in the way of some isolated showers moving in from the Atlantic. Then waking up tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at a little bit warmer temperatures too. Waking up with temperatures in the low to mid 60s, and so we got more of the way of those isolated showers moving in from the Atlantic. But by the time we get into the afternoon hours on Thursday, we have warmed things up into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, and we still got the chance of some isolated showers as our area of low pressure is beginning to weaken, thankfully. So we're going to start to see some much nicer conditions going forward into this weekend. But then by the time we get into the evening hours, we're going to be still in the upper 60s, but we're starting to see a little bit of break in those clouds too, as our tropical wave is now finally dying off. And then 2 o'clock in the morning, we might see some breaks in the clouds as temperatures are falling back down into the low and mid 60s. Thursday forecast overall, we got mostly cloudy skies, more of the way of some isolated and scattered showers. Warming up a few degrees too, 65 to 70 degrees, but the winds will be increasing once again from the east between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Take a look at the allergy index for your Thursday. Once again, we're looking at some medium-high conditions, 7.5 out of 12 on our scale, and our top allergens are still fairly consistent with being with oak, grasses, and mulberries. Now as we take a look at the marine conditions for your Thursday, beginning with the Atlantic, we got isolated showers, 67 degrees, winds from the northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour with seas of 3 to 5 feet. Take a look at the Delaware Bay. Isolated showers, 67 degrees, winds from the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour with seas of around 1 foot expected. And then the Chesapeake Bay. Isolated showers, looks like 67 degrees is the magic number. Winds from the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And you could expect 1 foot seas on the Chesapeake. Now as we get into the overnight hours, at least the good news is we're going to be done with the rainfall, at least for now. Mostly cloudy skies, another mild night ahead too. These temperatures during the overnight hours are probably going to be right around midnight, 62 to 65 degrees with wind switching from the south. We're going to be looking at some warmer air filtering in for Friday, and that's going to make a big difference for another scenario that we're looking into during the afternoon hours on Friday with some light winds from the south at about 10 miles per hour. Now, from the Storm Prediction Center, we are beginning to monitor the threat for some strong to severe thunderstorms going into the overnight hours on Friday, and the Storm Prediction Center agrees with that too. We have a slight risk of severe weather, including areas of South Carolina all the way into the mid-Atlantic states into eastern Pennsylvania. That's a level 2 out of 5 risk for the threat of severe weather going into Friday with a cold front passage. And let's talk about the ingredients regarding this event so far. Well, the first thing you need is heat. Forecasted temperatures across the region during Friday, widespread areas of upper 70s to low 80s because you need that fuel down at the surface, be able to lift those air parcels up into the atmosphere. And as well as that, you need moisture as well. We're looking at a fairly muggy air mass going into the afternoon and evening hours on Thursday, with dew points right around 70 degrees. So it's going to feel quite muggy out there, and that's going to be helping air parcels being lifted up and create that buoyancy that we need for thunderstorm growth. And our thing that we use called convective available potential energy, or CAPE for short, it's just a little bit of a measure of the atmosphere, just how unstable it is in the form of joules per kilogram. And we're looking at values of 1,500 to 2,000, which is very equivalent to about moderate instability in place. So we have the heat, we have the moisture, and we have the unstable air. The only thing left we need is a little bit of some wind shear, and we will have that. Looking at the low-level jet, 850 millibars, which is about 5,000 feet into the atmosphere, and we got Low-level jet winds about 30 to 50 knots, and that should be enough to really start sculpting these storms up in the form of some lag segments. So it looks like the main threat is going to be right now is damaging winds and maybe some large hail the size of ping pong balls. And I know I've been getting a lot of questions about a tornado threat, but as of right now, it doesn't really look like to be the case because winds are pretty much linear in nature. Tornadoes like to have a little bit of turning into the atmosphere, but with a lot of these winds continuing to be out of the south and southwest, we just don't really have that turning as of yet. But it's something we're going to be keeping an eye on over the next couple of days. Looks like the time period for storms is going to be anywhere between about 12 p.m. until 12 a.m. going into Saturday. And then we take a look at the futurecast. You can see that line of storms over towards areas of the Maryland Western Shore as that cold front begins to move through based on the NAM model, and as well as the higher resolution WRF model, still showing a nice little line segment moving through areas of Western Maryland, and then eventually in our neck of the woods, probably around 10 o'clock at night. Now let's take a look at that extended outlook because we got one more day of cooler temperatures going into Thursday, temperatures in upper 60s. Then we're watching out for the threat of some storms going into Friday though, but the temperatures are back into the 80s with some scattered thunderstorms. We have a little bit of some thunderstorm chances on Saturday. That's because we're going to have that upper level low over our neck of the woods, so that may spark some isolated showers in the afternoon hours. And then going into next week, we're going to be looking at consistently warming temperatures well into the 80s, but the good news is we're not going to be having any rain chances with some partly sunny skies.
Coming up, a total of 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in a mass shooting Tuesday at an elementary school in Texas. We'll have more details for you coming up. Don't go away. Well, a total of 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in a mass shooting Tuesday at an elementary school in Texas. Around noon on Tuesday, officials received reports of a gunman firing multiple rounds inside Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. The shooter, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, was shot and killed after authorities responded to the school. Investigators say he purchased 2 assault weapons when he turned 18, shot his grandmother, and then crashed his vehicle near the school before entering and barricading himself inside a classroom where he opened fire. The incident represents the worst mass shooting at a school in decades.
Weather Classroom is sponsored by No Nonsense Office Machines, committed to providing quality products and services with over 15 years of experience here in Sussex County. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today's weather lesson we will be talking about evapotranspiration. Now, evapotranspiration is a combination of evaporation from the land's surface plus transpiration from plants. Now, let's break it down to what each process does in the first place. Evaporation, of course, is the chemical process of the sun evaporating liquid water to a gas known as water vapor from the water on the land's surface. Now, transpiration is very similar to evaporation, but plants will also release water vapor from its leaves, taking the moisture and nutrients from the plant's roots and releasing water vapor as the ending process. In the warmer months of the year, evapotranspiration can affect the weather conditions surrounding rural locations with large crop fields. Transpiration rates will vary widely depending on the weather conditions such as temperature, humidity, sunlight availability, intensity, precipitation, soil type, etc., etc. During dry periods, transpiration can contribute to the loss of moisture in the upper soil zone, which can have an effect on vegetation and food crop fields. For example, during the summer months here on Delmarva, if you live near a large crop fields of corn or soybeans, you might notice the humidity levels and dew points are much higher than the surrounding locations, especially when the sun is out. That's because of evapotranspiration bringing more water vapor to the air nearby from the transpiration of crops nearby.
Well, that about does it for us today, Delmarva. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at TV Delmarva and on our website, tvdelmarva.com, for real-time news and weather updates. And while you're there, be sure to sign our petition calling on the major cable providers to carry TV Delmarva on their platforms so we can provide this kind of local programming to all of Delmarva. Until next time, I'm Rob Petrie reporting for TV Delmarva, Channel 14 News.